Expand your vocabulary with our core 2,000 words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Russian ebook before it's gone. Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, you'll learn conversational phrases to ask and answer the question, how do you say this? After watching this video, you'll be able to ask someone how a word is pronounced. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your How to Say Something PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Как это называется?
Это называется парковка.
Once more with the English translation.
Как это называется?
How do you say this?
Это называется парковка.
It's parking lot. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, how do you say this? That's,
Как это называется?
listen to it again.
Как это называется? Как это называется?
This Russian sentence literally translates into, how is it named? But it means, how do you say this in English? Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is,
Это называется.
word. This Russian sentence literally translates into, it word, but it means, it's word in English. For example, it's parking lot.
Это называется парковка. Это называется парковка.
Here are a few useful words you can use with the same pattern. Parking lot,
Парковка. Парковка.
giraffe,
Жираф. Жираф.
travel,
Путешествие. Путешествие.
invasion,
Вторжение. Вторжение.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Как это называется?
Это называется жираф.
Как это называется?
Это называется путешествие.
Как это называется?
Это называется вторжение.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, how do you say this?
Как это называется?
Imagine it's the word giraffe. Do you remember how to say giraffe?
Жираф. Жираф.
Say, it's giraffe.
Это называется жираф.
Now answer the question saying, it's giraffe.
Как это называется?
Это называется жираф.
Now imagine the word is travel. Do you remember how to say travel?
Путешествие. Путешествие.
Say, it's travel.
Это называется путешествие.
Now, answer the question saying it's travel.
Как это называется?
Это называется путешествие.
Now imagine the word is invasion. Do you remember how to say invasion?
Вторжение. Вторжение.
Say, it's invasion.
Это называется вторжение.
Now answer the question saying it's invasion.
Как это называется?
Это называется вторжение.
Most people who learn a foreign language learn it so that they can one day have real-life conversations with native speakers. When you start out learning and crack open your first textbook or listen to your first podcast, having a real conversation can feel like a fantasy. When everything about a language feels new, it can be overwhelming. But this couldn't be further from the truth. While it does take a significant amount of time and effort to become fluent, having a conversation might not be as far off as you think. In this video, we'll look at 3 ways you can boost your conversational skills and start talking to native speakers. Number 1, find native speakers and practice with them. It's unlikely you live near a big group of native speakers to practice with. If you happen to be in a major or international city, your chances may be better. Check and see if your city has a general language exchange. Chances are there could be a native speaker there who is also trying to learn another language. Practicing in person with a native speaker is probably the most interesting option for honing your speaking skills. But if you can't find anyone where you live, the next best option is to look online. Luckily for language learners, the past 10 years or so have seen an explosion in online language exchange sites. On these websites, you can search for someone who is a native speaker of your target language and is also learning your native language. The idea behind a language exchange is that you communicate with them via video or text chat, and half of the time, they help you practice your target language. And for the other half, you help them practice theirs. Practicing via an online language exchange is a highly effective way to practice your conversational skills. Number 2, work on pronunciation. Pronunciation is often an overlooked skill when it comes to learning a foreign language. Most people think of a good foreign accent as a luxury rather than a necessity. But what most people don't talk about is how having a good accent boosts your listening and comprehension skills. If you can hear a sound from a foreign language and know how to make it yourself, then you're more likely to understand native speakers when they talk at normal speed, and you're also more likely to remember any new words or phrases you come across. Having a good accent means that the language no longer sounds foreign. Instead, it sounds familiar, maybe even natural. So how do you go about perfecting your accent? The best way is to break down the language into its individual sounds. Make note of any sounds that are the same or similar to your native language and of those that are different. Of the sounds that are different, spend your time practicing the ones that you find the hardest to say correctly. After you're comfortable with the individual sounds, you can start linking together words and phrases. This is where accent practice starts to get really fun and interesting. Get your hands on some native speaker audio from a TV show, song, or podcast. Play the audio back and listen closely a few times. Take note of how words blend together in speech. Then, do your best to imitate what you hear, trying to match the speaker's emphasis and intonation. Our language learning program's playback feature is perfect for this. Record yourself and compare it to the original recording. Rinse and repeat until you're comfortable with the audio selection, and then move on to something more difficult. This is how you can break through the accent barrier and really start to make the language your own. Number 3, learn phrases, not just individual words. Learning grammar and individual words is great, but it's not the only approach you should take if you want to speak fluently. In addition to your regular grammar and vocabulary, try learning whole phrases, even if you aren't totally sure how they work grammatically. Learn phrases that are specific to your needs. It's a good idea to learn phrases that are grouped around a certain setting or subject, such as simple greetings or introductions, questions for getting to know someone, or traveling comfortably. You can even learn filler phrases, which you can use so that you have something to say when, well, you don't know what to say. Learning phrases like this will help you become conversational faster. You may not understand what you're saying literally, but as long as you know the general meaning behind the phrase and know when to use it, you'll be able to talk like a native. Eventually, your knowledge of grammar and vocabulary should catch up with the phrases you know. Learning a new language should feel like an adventure. There will be plateaus and periods in your learning where it feels like you're hitting a wall, but being able to speak with native speakers and have real conversations will help you combat language fatigue. After all, talking to someone face-to-face in a foreign language is one of the main reasons we start learning in the first place. And for even more ways to gain conversation skills, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, what kind of movies do you like? After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about movies and ask other people about their favorite kinds of movies. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Talking About Movies and TV PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Какие фильмы вам нравятся?
Я люблю ужасы.
Once more with the English translation.
Какие фильмы вам нравятся?
What kind of movies do you like?
Я люблю ужасы.
I like horror. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, what kind of movies do you like? That's,
Какие фильмы вам нравятся?
listen to it again.
Какие фильмы вам нравятся? Какие фильмы вам нравятся?
This Russian sentence literally translates as, what movies do you like? But it means, what kind of movies do you like? Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is,
Я люблю.
type of movie. I like type of movie. For example, I like horror.
Я люблю ужасы. Я люблю ужасы.
Here are a few more kinds of movies you can use with the same pattern to talk about movies. Horror,
Ужасы. Ужасы.
comedy,
Комедия. Комедия.
fantasy,
Фэнтези. Фэнтези.
romance,
Романтика. Романтика.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Какие фильмы вам нравятся?
Я люблю комедии.
Какие фильмы вам нравятся?
Я люблю фэнтези.
Какие фильмы вам нравятся?
Я люблю романтику.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, what kind of movies do you like?
Какие фильмы вам нравятся?
Imagine you like comedies. Do you remember how to say comedy?
Комедия. Комедия.
Say, I like comedies.
Я люблю комедии.
Now answer the question saying that you like comedies.
Какие фильмы вам нравятся?
Я люблю комедии.
Now imagine that you like fantasy movies. Do you remember how to say fantasy?
Фэнтези. Фэнтези.
Say, I like fantasy.
Я люблю фэнтези.
Now, answer the question saying you like fantasy movies.
Какие фильмы вам нравятся?
Я люблю фэнтези.
Now imagine you like romantic movies. Do you remember how to say romantic?
Романтика. Романтика.
Say, I like romance.
Я люблю романтику.
Now answer the question saying you like romantic movies.
Какие фильмы вам нравятся?
Я люблю романтику.
You've studied for a while and are ready to talk to people and practice what you've learned. But where do you start? Starting a conversation in a new language can seem a bit intimidating. How do you just jump into it? In this video, we'll look at 5 ways to start conversations. Number 1, introduce yourself in your target language. This is usually one of the first things you learn when you start studying a new language. And sometimes starting a conversation, or continuing one, is as simple as introducing yourself. Number 2, talking about the weather. This is a universal talking point. People talk about the weather all over the world. And just saying, "It's really nice today," is enough to start a conversation. A great way to practice your weather conversation skills is to check out our Can-Do lesson pathway. This series of lessons teaches you how to talk about the weather in your target language. Number 3, give compliments. Compliments are a great way to start a conversation. You can compliment something about your conversation partner's city, country, or something specific to them personally. "Hey, your bag is super cute," or "That ice cream looks delicious." These kinds of compliments can lead to further conversation about what you complimented. In this case, it could be fashion or a local restaurant. This is a great way to make quick connections with people. Number 4, ask for help. For example, you can ask for directions, ask about prices, or request recommendations for restaurants or shopping spots, and let the conversation go from there. People are usually happy to lend a helping hand to tourists who are visiting their city. Number 5, learn phrases for transactions. This can include getting a room at a hotel or telling a taxi driver where to go. When you're traveling overseas, you'll need to talk to other people in your target language. And while this might be a bit scary at first, you'll find that the people you meet are just happy that you're trying to communicate with them. So get started talking in your target language now. For even more tips on how to start conversations, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. Today, we'll learn conversational phrases about occupations. After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about your job and ask what somebody does for a living. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your occupation PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Чем ты занимаешься? Я художник.
Listen to it again, now with the English translation.
Чем ты занимаешься?
What do you do?
Я художник.
I'm an artist. First of all, you need to learn how to say, what do you do? That's.
Чем ты занимаешься?
Listen to it again.
Чем ты занимаешься? Чем ты занимаешься?
Now, how do you answer this question? This is the pattern you'll need.
Я
Your occupation. I'm an, your occupation. For example, I'm an artist.
Я художник. Я художник.
Here are a few more professions you can use with the same pattern. Police officer,
Полицейский. Полицейский.
teacher,
Учитель. Учитель.
Учительница. Учительница.
doctor,
Врач. Врач.
engineer,
Инженер. Инженер.
Now, listen to some examples.
Чем ты занимаешься? Я учитель. Чем ты занимаешься? Я врач. Чем ты занимаешься? Я инженер.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, what do you do?
Чем ты занимаешься?
Imagine you're a doctor. Do you remember how to say, doctor?
Врач. Врач.
Say, I'm a doctor.
Я врач.
Now answer the question saying that you are a doctor.
Чем ты занимаешься? Я врач.
Now, imagine you're a teacher. Do you remember how to say teacher?
Учитель. Учитель.
Say, I'm a teacher.
Я учитель.
Now, answer the question saying that you are a teacher.
Чем ты занимаешься? Я учитель.
Now, imagine you're an engineer. Do you remember how to say engineer?
Инженер. Инженер.
Say, I'm an engineer.
Я инженер.
Now, answer the question saying that you are an engineer.
Чем ты занимаешься? Я инженер.
When learning a new language, everyone should have an ultimate goal to work towards. Whether you want to be able to connect with a relative, easily order food while traveling, or go somewhere new, having an end goal for your learning can be very motivating. A popular but challenging goal is being able to speak like a native speaker. It's difficult to measure exactly when you reach this goal, and it's not something you can pick up using textbooks alone. So how do you work on making your speech more natural? That's what we're going to look at today. Here are 3 tips to help you practice talking like a native speaker. Number 1, focus on vocabulary. If your goal is to speak like a native, you might be really focused on speaking quickly or using as many complex grammar patterns as possible. But in our native languages, we're not always trying to speak as fast as possible, and we use complex grammar patterns when necessary, not to show off. Vocabulary, however, is extremely important to expressing ourselves naturally. Your choice of words can reveal a lot about you and your understanding of the language. Most learners have had the experience of using a phrasebook or a dictionary to find a word they want to use, trying the word in conversation, and getting a look of confusion from the native speaker. In some cases, although your word choice may be grammatically correct, the word may be inappropriate for the situation or totally unnatural. This is especially important in business and other formal situations, where the right level of formality and professionalism is key. Being able to understand nuances in vocabulary words can also help you understand relationships between people just by listening to the conversation. Try to listen to many different types of conversations. Listen to how people talk to their friends, their superiors, and in customer service situations. This will give you a better idea of how to talk to others naturally. In some languages, you can omit words from sentences or use more direct communication styles. It's important to be aware of these things so you can apply them yourself. Colloquialisms and slang are also commonly used in most languages. As this sort of vocabulary is always evolving, it can be difficult to keep up with the latest words. Talk with native speakers and consume media in your target language to make sure you pick up these kinds of expressions. Media is a great resource for your learning. Ultimately, knowing the appropriate vocabulary to use for each situation will really help you sound more knowledgeable. Number 2, perfect your accent. With every language, there are unique pronunciation and intonation challenges. Some languages are tonal languages, and a change in pitch can completely change the meaning of a word. Then there's the fact that most countries have multiple dialects, and so people from one area of the country may sound different from those in another. So what is the best way to listen to a wide range of accents and different pronunciations? Video and audio resources are a great way to do this. YouTube is a perfect place to start because people from all kinds of different backgrounds upload videos to the platform. You can watch educational videos, daily life vlogs, cooking shows, a travel series, whatever interests you. Pay attention to the different ways people speak. Everyone is unique. And then practice speaking like them. This kind of practice can help you sound more natural. One note, please be aware of the type of resources you're using. For example, if you find a video where a speaker uses a rare dialect, it might not be a good idea to use that for your pronunciation practice, unless you have a special reason for studying a specific accent. As a general rule, it's best to try to search for practice resources that use a standard form of the language you're studying. Number 3, copy what you hear. Do you remember how you learned to speak as a child? We rarely learned new words just listening to them, or reading after we learned how. When we were little kids, we imitated the sounds we heard by repeating the sounds out loud. While you're talking to a friend, watching videos, or listening to audio in your target language, you can do this to try and replicate the way they speak. Doing this will help you work on mastering the flow of the language, your accent, intonation, and pronunciation. Of course, you might also pick up some new vocabulary this way. Make sure to repeat new words often. It's a great way to make sure you remember them. Try doing this using a number of different mediums and sources. That way, you'll be exposed to the diversity that the language offers and master the fundamentals of pronunciation. For example, you can watch and imitate several different YouTube videos and audio CDs, but try a few different sources, like different creators or different audio types, to make sure you experience a wide range of communication in your target language. If you're using our language learning program, you can even get your own teacher with Premium Plus. Your teacher can answer questions, give assignments, and even listen to your recordings and give you advice on pronunciation. Completing these kinds of lessons with a native teacher can really boost your confidence in your speaking skills. Becoming able to speak like a native is a popular goal for many people learning a new language. It feels great to be able to communicate smoothly, especially when the people you're talking to expect basic level sentences or broken communication. Try using the tips we've shared in this video to work on improving your speaking skills. Of course, it'll take time and persistence, but the reward will be more natural communication. And for even more tips on speaking, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hey everyone, Alicia here. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, "How's your mother?" After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about well-being and ask how someone is doing. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Conversation About Family Well-Being PDF cheat sheet for free. Now let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Как мама? Хорошо.
Once more with the English translation.
Как мама?
How's your mother?
Хорошо.
She's fine. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, "How's your mother?" That's,
Как мама?
listen to it again.
Как мама? Как мама?
This Russian sentence literally means, "How, mother?" But it translates as, "How's your mother?" Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is state of well-being. In Russian, we only say the adjective as answer. For example, she's fine.
Хорошо. Хорошо.
Here are a few expressions related to well-being that you can use with this pattern. Great,
Отлично. Отлично.
fine,
Хорошо. Хорошо.
so-so,
Так себе. Так себе.
not good.
Не очень. Не очень.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Как мама? Отлично. Как мама? Так себе. Как мама? Не очень.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, "How's your mother?"
Как мама?
Imagine she's great. Do you remember how to say, "Great"?
Отлично. Отлично.
Say, "She's great."
Отлично.
Now, answer the question saying she's great.
Как мама? Отлично.
Now imagine she's so-so. Do you remember how to say so-so?
Так себе. Так себе.
Say, she's so-so.
Так себе.
Now, answer the question saying she's so-so.
Как мама? Так себе.
Now imagine she's not good. Do you remember how to say not good?
Не очень. Не очень.
Say, she's not good.
Не очень.
Now, answer the question saying she's not good.
Как мама? Не очень.
Want to speak and understand more of your target language? If so, of course, you'll need to know more words and phrases than you do now. In this video, we'll cover 5 ways to master new words and phrases fast. Number 1, use our free vocabulary list. This is a free library of vocabulary and phrase lessons for all kinds of situations. You can learn words and phrases for current events, holidays like Halloween and Thanksgiving, and useful topics, like the top 10 ways to say hello, conversational phrases, and more. You'll learn phrases that you won't find in textbooks. If you want to learn extra fast, use the slideshow tool. Just tap or click on View Slideshow, then sit back and review the words and phrases. Find the vocabulary lists in the vocabulary drop-down menu on the site. These vocabulary lists are free for all users. Number 2, take the audio and video lessons. One of the best ways to learn new words is by hearing and using them in conversations. This is because it gives you the opportunity to understand how the words are actually used. In every lesson dialogue, you'll likely come across some words you don't know. But don't worry, because our teachers translate everything. When you hear the conversation again at the end of the lesson, you'll be familiar with the words you didn't know at first. Number 3, learn with our 2,000 most common words list. A quick question. How many words do you think you need for conversational fluency? 3,000? 5,000? It's actually not as many as you think. Language experts say you need about 1,500 words to reach conversational fluency. With our 2,000 most common words list, you'll get access to key vocabulary words you need to boost your conversation skills. The words are broken down into simple categories, such as adjectives, nouns, verbs, food, drinks, numbers, months, and so on. So you can go category by category and focus on what you're most interested in first. With this tip, we're not talking about paper flashcards. We're talking about the smart flashcards that you can find in our premium study tools. This is an automatic system individualized for each member based on their study needs. First, you'll use the cards to check your knowledge. Then, according to your answers, the cards will be sorted according to which words you need more practice with. Words that you struggle with will be shown to you more and more. You'll see words that you know well less often. This system helps you study more efficiently. It displays the words you need to work on and knows when you should refresh your knowledge. This helps make sure you don't forget vocabulary. In every study session, these cards will help you refresh your memory on the words you learned last time and introduce new words. Number 5, use the words. After you learn a new word, using it right away is crucial to remembering it. So, when you're done with a lesson or a vocab list, here's something you can do. Leave a comment. Make up a sample sentence and post it in the comment section. Write it down in a notebook, or shadow the word with a lessons dialogue. Our language learning program is full of tools that can help you speak more. Just pick one and get started. If you want to unlock all of these study tools, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! everyone, Alicia here. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, what's the matter? After watching this video, you'll be able to make complaints and ask someone else if they're having any issues. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Making Complaints PDF cheat sheet for free. Now let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
В чем дело?
В офисе жарко.
Once more with the English translation.
В чем дело?
What's the matter?
В офисе жарко.
The office is hot. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, what's the matter? That's,
В чем дело?
listen to it again.
В чем дело? В чем дело?
Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
В офисе.
adjective. This Russian sentence literally translates into in the office adjective, but it means the office is adjective in English. For example, the office is hot.
В чем дело?
В офисе жарко.
Here are a few more examples you can use with the same pattern to make complaints. Hot,
Жарко. Жарко.
cold,
Холодно. Холодно.
noisy,
Шумно. Шумно.
dirty,
Грязно. Грязно.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
В чем дело? В офисе холодно. В чем дело? В офисе шумно. В чем дело? В офисе грязно.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, what's the matter?
В чем дело?
Imagine the office is cold. Do you remember how to say cold?
Холодно. Холодно.
Say, the office is cold.
В офисе холодно.
Now answer the question saying the office is cold.
В чем дело? В офисе холодно.
Now imagine the office is noisy. Do you remember how to say noisy?
Шумно. Шумно.
Say, the office is noisy.
В офисе шумно.
Now, answer the question saying the office is noisy.
В чем дело? В офисе шумно.
Now imagine the office is dirty. Do you remember how to say dirty?
Грязно. Грязно.
Say, the office is dirty.
В офисе грязно.
Now answer the question, saying the office is dirty.
В чем дело? В офисе грязно.
Want to speak your target language with confidence and impress native speakers? When learning to speak a new language, you have lots of things to think about, including grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Because you're thinking of all of these things and trying to speak, it can be difficult to communicate with confidence, especially in the beginning. This is why it's helpful to make confidence-building exercises part of your language learning process. In this video, you'll learn 7 ways to boost your confidence. 1. Read out loud. This might seem pretty basic, but it's a great way to practice speaking. Reading aloud lets you practice speaking without having to think about grammar or things to talk about. Reading out loud lets you focus on your pronunciation and the rhythm of the language. It can help you learn to speak more smoothly and quickly, without even thinking about it. If you're using our lessons, read the dialogue out loud as you listen. You can read along with the dialogue tool, the lesson notes, or the transcript. 2. Read like a child. This might sound strange, but think about children learning to read. They go slow and sound everything out. Maybe it takes 2 or 3 tries before they read a new word smoothly, and a few more tries before they can read it at a natural pace. This example applies to language learning too. If you find a complex sentence in something you're reading, read it slowly at first, then speed up. With practice, you'll be able to say it easily. It might feel a bit silly to speak very slowly, but this kind of practice can help you identify tough sounds you might miss or say incorrectly when reading quickly. 3. Use the dialogue breakdown tool. If you're using our site, this is a great tool to take advantage of. It breaks down lesson conversations into individual lines. You can listen to the audio for each line, learn what each line means, and can reread and review as much as you want. 4. Use the voice recorder to record and compare yourself with native speakers. Just click on the microphone icon next to each line in the dialogue section. You can use this tool to perfect your pronunciation if you like, but this is also something you can use to work on speaking with confidence at native level speed. You'll find this tool in the dialogue section of all of our lessons. 5. Repeat and review old lesson conversations. Reviewing what you've studied in the past is the best way to make sure you maintain what you've learned. Go back to older lessons, download the lesson dialogue tracks, and re-listen to the conversations again and again. Or you can reread the dialogue lines from previous lessons until you've mastered them all. 6. Shadow conversations. Repeat what you hear out loud. This tactic is important, but it can be tricky when you're doing a brand new lesson. If you're reviewing dialogues from lessons you've done though, it's super easy to do. Just listen to the dialogue and repeat what you hear. Shadowing means mimicking the speaker as soon as they speak, following their intonation and rhythms as closely as possible. 7. Send recordings to your Premium Plus teacher. If you want to speak with confidence, there's no better confidence boost than feedback from a native speaker, and you get just that with a Premium Plus teacher. You can record yourself reciting a lesson dialogue or any dialogue of your own, and your teacher will give you specific tips on how to improve. From the tips your teacher gives you, choose at least one and practice, practice, practice. Being able to react quickly and with confidence in a conversation is typically not something you can do on your first try, but if you continue practicing, you'll gradually find yourself speaking with ease. And for even more ways to build your speaking confidence, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, you'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, what are you doing during the holiday? After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about your holiday plans. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your National Holidays PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Что вы делаете на День труда?
Я собираюсь поехать на шашлыки.
Once more with the English translation.
Что вы делаете на День труда?
What are you doing for Labor Day?
Я собираюсь поехать на шашлыки.
I'm planning to go to a barbecue. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, what are you doing for Labor Day? That's,
Что вы делаете на День труда?
listen to it again.
Что вы делаете на День труда? Что вы делаете на День труда?
Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
Я собираюсь.
plan. I'm planning to plan. For example, I'm planning to go to a barbecue.
Я собираюсь поехать на шашлыки. Я собираюсь поехать на шашлыки.
Here are a few more phrases you can use with the same pattern to talk about your plans. Go to a barbecue.
Поехать на шашлыки. Поехать на шашлыки.
Travel.
Путешествовать. Путешествовать.
Stay home.
Остаться дома. Остаться дома.
Go to the movies.
Пойти в кино. Пойти в кино.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Что вы делаете на День труда? Я собираюсь путешествовать. Что вы делаете на День труда? Я собираюсь остаться дома. Что вы делаете на День труда? Я собираюсь пойти в кино.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, what are you doing for Labor Day?
Что вы делаете на День труда?
Imagine you're planning to travel. Do you remember how to say travel?
Путешествовать. Путешествовать.
Say, I'm planning to travel.
Я собираюсь путешествовать.
Now, answer the question saying you're planning to travel.
Что вы делаете на День труда? Я собираюсь путешествовать.
Now, imagine you're planning to stay home. Do you remember how to say stay home?
Остаться дома. Остаться дома.
Say, I'm planning to stay home.
Я собираюсь остаться дома.
Now, answer the question saying you're planning to stay home.
Что вы делаете на День труда? Я собираюсь остаться дома.
Now imagine you're planning to go to the movies. Do you remember how to say go to the movies?
Пойти в кино. Пойти в кино.
Say, I'm planning to go to the movies.
Я собираюсь пойти в кино.
Now, answer the question saying you're planning to go to the movies.
Что вы делаете на День труда? Я собираюсь пойти в кино.
Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, you'll learn conversational phrases to use when talking on the phone. After watching this video, you'll be able to ask for someone on the phone and to put someone on hold. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Making a Phone Call PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Здравствуйте. Я бы хотела поговорить с ответственным сотрудником.
Одну секунду.
Once more with the English translation.
Здравствуйте. Я бы хотела поговорить с ответственным сотрудником.
Hello, I'd like to speak with the person in charge.
Одну секунду.
Okay, just a moment. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say hello on the phone. That's
Здравствуйте. Здравствуйте.
Then, you'll need to learn how to say, I'd like to speak with person. The pattern is,
Я бы хотела поговорить с.
person. For example, hello, I'd like to speak with the person in charge.
Здравствуйте. Я бы хотела поговорить с ответственным сотрудником. Здравствуйте. Я бы хотела поговорить с ответственным сотрудником.
Now, how do you answer this question?
Одну секунду.
Okay, just a moment. Listen to it again.
Одну секунду. Одну секунду.
This Russian sentence literally translates as 1 second, but it means, okay, just a moment. Here are a few more phrases you can use with the same pattern to talk on the phone. The person in charge.
Ответственный сотрудник. Ответственный сотрудник.
A sales representative.
Торговый представитель. Торговый представитель.
The manager.
Менеджер. Менеджер.
Customer service.
Клиентская служба. Клиентская служба.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Я бы хотела поговорить с торговым представителем.
Одну секунду.
Я бы хотела поговорить с менеджером.
Одну секунду.
Я бы хотела поговорить с клиентской службой.
Одну секунду.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, I'd like to speak with person?
Я бы хотела поговорить с...
Person. And how do you answer it?
Одну секунду.
Imagine you want to talk to a sales representative. Do you remember how to say a sales representative?
Торговый представитель. Торговый представитель.
Say, I'd like to speak with a sales representative.
Я бы хотела поговорить с торговым представителем.
Now say you want to talk to a sales representative and answer it.
Я бы хотела поговорить с торговым представителем.
Одну секунду.
Now, imagine you want to talk to the manager. Do you remember how to say the manager?
Менеджер. Менеджер.
Say, I'd like to speak with the manager.
Я бы хотела поговорить с менеджером.
Now say you want to talk to the manager and answer it.
Я бы хотела поговорить с менеджером.
Одну секунду.
Now imagine you want to talk to customer service. Do you remember how to say customer service?
Клиентская служба. Клиентская служба.
Say, I'd like to speak with customer service.
Я бы хотела поговорить с клиентской службой.
Now say you want to talk to customer service and answer it.
Я бы хотела поговорить с клиентской службой.
Одну секунду.
Want to speak real Russian from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at RussianPod101.com.
To master a new language and understand everything as soon as you hear it, to read with just a quick glance and speak smoothly without thinking, you need to review. Here are our top 5 review tactics. Number 1, listen to examples over and over again. By listening closely and often, you start to pick up the rhythm of a language, as well as correct pronunciation from a native speaker. Use our line-by-line feature that lets you both listen and read along. Use this tool to practice as much as possible. Number 2, use our voice recording tool to master perfect pronunciation. Record yourself and compare it against the native speaker. If you sound different, then repeat after the native speaker until you're able to match them. Use our voice recording feature, which makes recording super easy. Number 3, master your recorded conversations. Record conversations and go over them again and again. Master entire conversations and repeat them line by line. Use any of the dialogues available for download on our website. These come with transcripts of the entire conversation. Number 4, use mobile devices to reinforce previously learned conversations. Constant review is the best way to progress in your language studies. Download the recorded dialogue to your mobile device and incorporate it into your music playlist. Quick reviews throughout the day effectively reinforce what you've learned. Number 5, read with line-by-line notes. Read along with a native speaker to really master pronunciation and natural intonation. You should start slow at first, then slowly increase your speed. Your pronunciation will become more natural. You will also see that your ability to understand fluent speakers will greatly increase. You'll be able to improve your communication skills using these 5 simple review techniques. Increase your understanding of your target language. And remember, if you're interested in getting all these review tools, Sign up for your free lifetime account. No credit card required, and you'll get the best free online resources. And start reviewing more every day.
Человек. The tricky thing with this word is that in plural it changes completely. So one man is человек and many men is люди. Have you seen this man? Вы видели этого человека? Вы видели этого человека? Сказать. To say. Я хочу сказать. I would like to say, and then you keep saying what you want to say. The boss said, blah, blah, blah. Начальник сказал, and then you keep going what exactly he says. Пожалуйста. Please. Or, you're welcome. The difference in please and you're welcome is just the way you say it. For example, Mom, please, I don't want to go to school. Пожалуйста, мама, я не хочу идти в школу. Which we can hear every morning. Or you can say, present, an iPad from my friend is like, спасибо. And they go like, пожалуйста. Like, you're welcome. Pay attention to which word you're using. Смотри за словами. Смотри за словами. Maybe it's not very literal translation, but it means watch your mouth or something like that. Жить. To live. When you introduce yourself and you want to say where you live, exactly which city, which town, which country, or like which district. So, я живу в Москве. I live in Moscow. You can say пока-пока, which means bye-bye. Call me next week. Позвони мне на следующей неделе. Позвони мне на следующей неделе. What do you like to eat? Что ты любишь кушать? Что ты любишь кушать? Я хочу заказать. I would like to order something. Я хочу заказать салат. I would like to order salad. You made up your mind, so you want to order this. So, я хочу. If you want to say it in a more polite way, for example, you're in a very high-end restaurant, and so you want to be polite with the waiter, so you could say, я бы хотел заказать. I would like to order. Я бы хотела заказать чашечку кофе. I would like to order a cup of coffee. That would sound much nicer. Basically the same with the mother. You can say in an official way, отец, your father, твой отец. Or you can say in a more friendly way, твой папа, your father, твой папа. Твой папа любит рыбалку? Does your father like fishing? Твой папа любит рыбалку? Взять, to take. Я могу тебя взять с собой. I can take you with me. Извините. I'm sorry and excuse me. If you say I'm sorry, you can say извините. Like you're really sorry about something you've done. But you can say excuse me, like you stepped on somebody's foot in a train. You can say ой, извините. Сестра. Have you met his sister? She is very nice. Ты знаком с его сестрой? Она очень приятная девушка. You can say, give me please. Дай мне, пожалуйста. Дай мне, пожалуйста. Or you can say, давайте. It's a bit different meaning, means let's do something. Давайте. Давайте пойдем гулять. Let's go for a walk. I'd like to give you a piece of advice. Я хочу дать тебе совет. Yes, Russian people say a lot. Да. Yes. I agree. Да. Take care of your bag. Пожалуйста, смотри за своей сумкой.
Hi, welcome to Introduction to Russian. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Katya.
In this lesson, you'll learn the basics of Russian grammar. Word order refers to the order in which words are structured to form a sentence in a given language. Consider the English sentence, I ate an apple. But first, let's remove the article an here for simplicity, so we're just left with I ate apple. The basic word order for English is subject, verb, object, or SVO for short. If we break down the English sentence, I ate apple, we can see that the subject I is presented first, followed by the verb ate, and then finally the object apple is positioned last. This is the basic word order for sentences in English.
Russian uses the same word order as English. SVO. Парень купил собаку. Парень. The subject, a guy, goes first. Купил, the verb bought, goes second. And собаку, the object dog, goes last. This means that you can create any basic sentence in Russian simply by exchanging the English words for Russian words using a dictionary and still be understood. Isn't that easy?
In fact, Russian word order is much more flexible than English. Compare the following examples. Cats eat mice. If we were to swap the subject with the object, we'd get mice eat cats. As you can see, the SVO word order in English is fixed. Changing the word order changes the meaning of the sentence completely.
Russian, on the other hand, is much more flexible. Starting with the SVO word order, кошки едят мышей. We can swap the subject with the object like we did for English, and yet, мышей едят кошки. The meaning of the sentence remains the same. In fact, we could swap the sentence any which way and it still wouldn't change the core meaning of the sentence.
Unlike English, Russian doesn't rely on the word order of the sentence to signify if a word is the subject or an object because it uses special word endings that act as markers to indicate the role of the word in the sentence.
In this example, we use the word ending "ей" in мышей to indicate that mice is the object of the sentence. And so we can move it around anywhere in the sentence and it still be the object.
Now you know how to create basic sentences in Russian, but how do you make a sentence negative?
Negation in Russian is easy. Just add "не", meaning no, before the verb. Он спит. Он не спит. Я знаю. Я не знаю. Unlike English, Russian permits double negatives. So in English, you would say nothing happened. But in Russian, we would say nothing didn't happen. Ничего не произошло.
You can form many basic negative sentences in Russian by placing no before the verb. Turning a sentence into a question in Russian is even easier than turning it into a negative sentence.
Simply raise your pitch at the end of the question as you would in English.
Unlike English, though, you do not need to rearrange the order of any words. Simply say the sentence and raise the pitch at the end.
Ты понимаешь? Ты понимаешь?
To ask more than yes or no questions, you'll need to learn question words. Some common question words are
Что? Как? Кто? Какой? Когда?
We'll cover more of this in future lessons on Russian grammar. Well done! Let's wrap up this lesson by recapping what we've learned. In this lesson, you learned that Russian sentences can be formed using an SVO word order, just like English. Additionally, Russian uses markers to indicate the role of a word in a sentence, which allows the word order to be much more flexible. You make a negative sentence by adding no before the verb. And to create basic questions in Russian, simply add a question mark and raise your pitch at the end of a sentence. We've covered only the absolute basics of Russian grammar. If you're interested in learning more, check out our Russian in 3 Minutes video series. In that course, we teach you useful phrases while covering the fundamentals of Russian grammar, and each lesson is only 3 minutes long. See you in the next lesson. Bye!
Bye!
Hi everyone, and welcome to Ask a Teacher. I'm Lina, and I'm here to answer the most common questions you send us about the Russian language. And the question for today is, what are the differences between Russian and English sentence structures? The most obvious difference between Russian and English sentence structure is word order. English has a fixed order of subject, verb, and object. Russian is a lot more flexible. In Russian, you can place an object both before and after the verb. Take the sentence, I don't know him. Я не знаю его. Here, его, him, is an object. It can be placed before the verb «Я его не знаю», after the verb «Я не знаю его», and even in the very beginning of the sentence «Его я не знаю». All these sentences would be perfectly grammatically correct and would mean one and the same thing. At first, it may seem simple and even convenient to be able to switch the words around. However, the reason Russian sentences make sense, no matter how you shuffle the words around, is that the words themselves carry a lot of grammar nuances. If you need to convey a grammar nuance, you make a change to the word, not the whole structure. And this change can be made with the help of suffixes, prefixes, or endings. Almost all Russian words can be changed. Let's see how Russian nouns can be changed. Russian nouns decline depending on 6 grammar cases. You decline a noun when you need to change it from its initial or nominative form to some other form. For example, the word палочки, chopsticks, is an initial form. It can be used in a sentence like this. Вот мои палочки. Here are my chopsticks. To say that you eat sushi with chopsticks, you change the word палочки into палочками. I eat sushi with chopsticks. Я ем суши палочками. So you take out the ending «и» and replace it with the ending «ами». Палочки палочками. Палочками is an instrumental case of the word палочки. As you can see, the change is made with the help of an ending, not with the help of preposition, as in English. Nouns can also change according to gender, masculine, feminine or neuter, and according to number, singular or plural. Adjectives and some pronouns can undergo the same changes as nouns. But don't you be scared. In some ways, Russian is even easier than English. First, there are no articles in Russian, as opposed to English, and some other languages like Spanish or French, which even have gender articles. Secondly, there are only 3 verb tenses in Russian, a lot fewer than English has. In English, in the present tense, for an action that happens regularly, you'd say, I play basketball. And for an action that is happening right this moment, you'd say, I am playing basketball. In Russian, instead of these 2 structures, you only need to use one. Я играю в баскетбол. And then you can specify. Я играю в баскетбол каждый день. I play basketball every day. И я играю в баскетбол сейчас. I'm playing basketball right now. Another thing that makes learning Russian is just a bit easier is that there are no auxiliary verbs in Russian, words like do, have, or be. Of course, we do have all these basic words in Russian. The thing is that they don't act like auxiliaries in the sentences. In English, if you need to make a negative out of a statement, you need to carefully choose the right form of the auxiliary verb, do, for example, and make changes to the word order. So, he liked ice cream in its negative form becomes he didn't like ice cream. We like ice cream becomes we don't like ice cream. And the baby likes ice cream becomes the baby doesn't like ice cream, and so on. In Russian, all you need to do is use one and the same word не, which can be translated into English as not. This word не can be placed in front of any word in the sentence, and that alone will make the sentence negative. So, он любил мороженое. He liked ice cream. Он не любил мороженое. He didn't like ice cream. Мы любим мороженое. We like ice cream. Мы не любим мороженое. We don't like ice cream. Ребенок любит мороженое. The baby likes ice cream. Ребенок не любит мороженое. The baby doesn't like ice cream. Easy. Lastly, just like with negatives, to turn a statement into a question, in English, you need to change the entire structure. In Russian, all you need to change is intonation. So in English, You are going to work tomorrow becomes are you going to work tomorrow? In Russian, you don't have to move the words around. All you need to do is change your intonation and the statement becomes a question. Like this. Ты идешь на работу завтра. You are going to work tomorrow. Ты идешь на работу завтра? Are you going to work tomorrow? So how was it? Pretty interesting, right? Do send me some more questions about the Russian language usage, and I'll be happy to answer them. До встречи! See you soon! Hello everyone, Lena here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Russian questions. The question for this lesson is: how hard is it to learn Russian? The Foreign Service Institute, or FSI, created a scale to show how long it takes to get to professional level proficiency in speaking a foreign language for a native English speaker. Russian is a Category 3 language. That means it has significant differences from English. It takes a bit longer to learn than, say, Spanish or Italian, which have very similar writing systems to English. According to this scale, Russian takes approximately 44 weeks, or 1,100 hours of study, but this will of course vary from person to person. The hardest part about Russian is grammar. There are many factors you have to consider when making a sentence, such as gender, number, suffixes and prefixes. With nouns, we have to be mindful of how they decline depending on the 6 Russian cases. With verbs, you have to be mindful of the imperfective and perfective forms, which are verb aspects that indicate whether an action is ongoing or has already been completed. For example, the word dog is feminine, собака, and the word cat is masculine, кот. If you want to say, I love my dog and I love my cat, you'll have to use different endings for the nouns. Я люблю свою собаку, but я люблю своего кота, respectively. You can see that even the pronoun my, свой, will change for these sentences because of the animals' genders. But there are many things about learning Russian that are easier than you think. Here are a couple of other facts about Russian that you will like. First, there are not many exceptions or special cases, such as irregular verbs or strange spellings. Also, there's no strict word order in Russian. And even if you're not familiar with Russian grammar, you can put the words in the sentence in almost any order, and a native Russian speaker should be able to understand you. So Russian, just like any other language, has its own difficulties. But if you give it time and dedication, you should be well on your way to getting where you want to be. Do you have any more questions? Leave them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them. До встречи! See you soon! Hi everyone, Lena here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Russian questions. The question for this lesson is: what is verb conjugation, and what to consider when conjugating a verb? Verb conjugation is a change in the form of the verb, depending on the number and person. Just like in English, there are 3 grammatical persons in Russian. For singular, they are я, I, ты, you, он, она, оно, he, she, it. For plural, they are мы, we, вы, you, они, they. So, to conjugate a verb, you need to change their personal ending. For example, я люблю читать. I like to read. Он читает. He reads. Дети читают. The children are reading. If we know how to conjugate the verb, we can avoid spelling mistakes, which are common in the unstressed personal endings of the verbs. For example, the verb читаете. You are reading. Which is the right vowel to put here? Е or И? In rapid speech, Е and И in the unstressed position sound the same. But if you know the right conjugation of the verb читать, you wouldn't hesitate. Е is the right vowel to put here. Читаете. In Russian, there are 2 conjugations. The vowel ye is mostly used in the endings of the first conjugation verbs. The vowel e is mostly used in the endings of the second conjugation verbs. Let's explore the typical endings of the first conjugation verbs. First person singular, u, you. Second person singular, ешь, ешь. Third person singular, ед, ет. First person plural, ем, ем. Second person plural, ете, ете. Third person plural, ut, ют. Now let's take a look at the typical endings of the second conjugation verbs. First person singular, u, you. Second person singular, ish. Third person singular, it. First person plural, im. Second person plural, ite. Third person plural, at, ят. Let's conjugate the verb читать, meaning to read, which is a first conjugation verb in Russian. Я читаю, I'm reading. Ты читаешь, you are reading. Он читает, he is reading. Мы читаем, we are reading. Вы читаете, you are reading. Они читают, they are reading. So the pattern here is to remove the ending t from the infinitive form of the verb you'll find in a dictionary and add the appropriate ending of the first conjugation. The infinitives of the first conjugation verbs usually end in ать, ять, оть, еть, уть, and so on. Let's move to the second conjugation verbs and conjugate the verb учить, which means to teach, to learn, or to study. Я учу, I teach. Ты учишь, you teach. Он учит, he teaches. Мы учим, we teach. Вы учите, you teach. Они учат, they teach. The pattern here is once again to remove the ending it from the infinitive form of the verb and add the appropriate ending of the second conjugation to the remaining base uch. Most verbs ending in it are the second conjugation verbs. There are a few exceptions, such as the verbs брить, to shave, and слышать, to hear. Now you can easily conjugate the verbs by looking up their infinitive forms in the dictionary and making changes to the endings. The verbs in different aspects and moods conjugate in the same way. For example, if you come across the verb прочитаете, you shouldn't be confused by the prefix про in front of the verb читаете. You should just look up the infinitive form of the verb прочитать and conjugate it in the same way you would conjugate the verb читать. The trick's done. Conjugating verbs may seem difficult, but starting practicing with the basic verbs will certainly make you proficient and confident in a short time. Pretty interesting, right? If you have more questions, leave them in the comments below. До встречи! See you soon!
Expand your vocabulary with our core 2,000 words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Russian ebook before it's gone.